everybody, it's Aquila, and this is A Lefty Knitter podcast, episode 111. Yeah, 111. I live in Baltimore with my husband, my kids, cats. This one is always begging for attention. So, I do a podcast about knitting, fiber stuff, cranking tubes on my machine. Sorry, he is just being really annoying this morning. Didn't say the date. Today is Wednesday, and it is, I believe, April 7th. So I record throughout the week. I put them all together, and I post usually on Saturdays. Last week was just an anomaly because we were camping, and we had no cell service. So I couldn't even try to attempt to upload to YouTube from the campground, which I was going to try, but didn't happen. Yeah. I have a jump in viewers, so I just want to welcome anyone that is new to my podcast. Welcome, welcome, welcome. And anybody that's returning, of course, welcome back. I know Chevis had talked about John and I on one of her podcasts episodes, and I'm pretty sure that's when our jumped. She has quite a few viewers. So thank you to anybody that's come from that podcast or from any podcast. And if you didn't come from that podcast, I wouldn't mind knowing how you found me, whether it was just you randomly clicked on me on YouTube or somebody else suggested it. So I'd like to thank them too if that were the case. So I have a cat. Bud, you're not gonna be able to stay here, baby. I know, you just want all the attention. All the attention! Okay. Sorry. There's always interruptions in this podcast. Just warning you right now. Alright, so I haven't talked about why I named this a Lefty Knitter podcast in a long time. I am left-handed. I am very left-hand dominant, where I don't do much of anything else with my right hand, and I knit left-handed. So I knit mirror or left-handed or whatever you want to call it. I have an English, I knit English, so I throw the yarn with an English hold. Is that what that is? Yeah, I believe that's right. I throw my yarn. I'm a thrower, not a picker. There you go. I have guided people to the right videos to get them help and figure out, lots of times people were taught by right-handed people, which is fine. And if you were a left-handed person, you may have not picked it up left-handed only because you're being taught by a righty. No one's knitting the wrong way, let me just say. I was told many times early on when I started knitting that I was knitting incorrectly. I'm not knitting incorrectly. Neither are you. If you are knitting left-handed or crocheting left-handed, it's not wrong. Just putting that out there too. I've taught right-handed people to knit right-handed by them sitting in front of me like a mirror, and they mimic exactly the motions I'm doing. Of course, also directing them to helpful YouTube videos, because there are so many out there that can help. I have a sock tube that I have been working on very slowly. In the last episode, I actually showed it again because I had made the tiniest bit of progress. I now have more progress. So it was one sock tube that I cranked out of some Knit Pick Stroll yarn. My husband dyes yarn. He has his own videos on this same channel called Johnny Bo Dyes. I finished my socks except for the fact I need to weave in some ends. So these ones are all from one tube. These are mine. This is Knit Pick's Pickle Juice in the Stroll. Yes, Pickle Juice is not a color they make anymore, so I'm kind of really sad that I'm going to be using so much of this. John's socks were just a long tube with two cuffs the last time you saw them, but now they have toes. So now I just need to cut in the heels for John's, and we will have some matching. Not quite matching, because, you're never going to get that to match. we will have some fraternal twin socks. So I just need to put the heels in these for John. Picking up this dark yarn at night does not bode well for my eyes. So I need to do this like in the morning before work, and then that night I can be able to put in a heel. So, we have an Etsy shop. All my links will be down below. Anything I talk about. If there's something I don't link down below and you need clarification, please message me. Please put a comment down below. I will gladly make sure that I point you in the right direction. And yeah, so we have an Etsy shop. I have an Erlbacher Speedster machine, and it cranks sock tubes or socks. You know, I can do socks, but it knits in the round, although I can knit flat too. I shouldn't say that. Wow. Okay, I have a 64 stitch and a 72 stitch cylinder. I have listings in my Etsy shop. You can send me your yarn and I will crank it for you. And there are multiple options now. I talked with this customer and they already approved that I could show their order on my podcast. So, first off, aren't these postcards the greatest? I love Klimt. And these are beautiful. And this is a returning customer, and I now have 3 beautiful postcards with some beautiful notes, which I'm not going to read to you all. That's mine, not yours. She had sent me, now of course these are not my yarns, these are her yarns. She sent them to me. When you buy a cranking service, I will send you a message on Etsy where to send your yarn. So I got these in the mail, and I've now cranked them, so I'm going to try to get them either out today or tomorrow. The first one was Yarn Diaries, and it was a one-of-a-kind colorway. I've never had Yarn Diaries yarn before. I was a little nervous about this because it is it's a fingering weight, but it's a single ply. And I don't think I ever cranked a single ply on my machine. Some single plies I don't know would hold up well in my machine because if it's not a tightly spun single. So in this order, she had asked for 20 grams to be held back. So here's the 20 grams. And that's for if you want to do heels and toes, etc. in your tube of the same color. Some people use contrast colors, so it's really all up to you. And she had asked for 64 stitches, two individual tubes. So you can buy a single tube with waste yarn on both ends. You can buy 2 tubes. That's in one listing. The other listing is you can buy, it's only on my 64. You'll get a cuff and a cranked tube, and you get 2 of those out of your yarn, so it's split in half. And then you'll get the third listing, that is the highest price listing, is you get a 1x1 cuff, you get a leg, you get a short row heel, and then the rest of that 50% of that yarn is cranked just as foot, and you have to rip back to put your toe in. So here is that colorway that I just showed you. This is waste yarn. I try to pick a color that is contrasting to the yarn that you have sent, so it's easy to pick up the stitches. So there are two tubes. They're pretty long, I'm not gonna lie. When you send 100 grams, that's a long sock. Unless you're making socks for people with really big feet, you'll probably be pulling some of this out. Because they'd be very, very, very long socks. But that's not here nor, and that's with 20 grams taken out. So pretty long socks. And you can choose how much you want taken out. Like if you want only, 50% of your yarn cranked, I can do that too. That's not one of the drop downs, but if you message me, that's easily done. The other yarn was Freckled Whimsy, which I have never used her yarn before. I shouldn't say her. I've never used their yarn before either, Freckled Whimsy. This is I Pink I Love You, and she is a self-striping dyer. I said she again. They are a self-striping dye company. but they might also do not self-striping. I'm not quite sure. I haven't done enough research on this dyer. This, no yarn held back, and just cranked straight into the tubes. So there you go. So that's just a service I provide. I talked in the last episode about helping smaller dyeing businesses. If you need any help in getting product like this to market for your company, please message me, because I would love to help small businesses. I know, like I said in the last episode, it can be hard getting yourself out there marketing, and if you are one person and you have nobody to help you, knitting up samples is not always the easiest either. I'm pretty sure Freckled Whimsy has a couple sock machines, so she always has samples of all her colorways, because I was looking at her Instagram. So that's just my spiel there, y'all, and I put a little work on 2 other projects, which I'm gonna try to get a little more work done on those before I show them again. That'll be later in the week probably. So I'm gonna get these packaged up. I gotta get to work. So I've been watching Arrested Development. I never watched that show when it was on like regular television, and now it's on Netflix. There are so many actors in that I recognize. It's kind of like, I don't know why. I guess I just never watched it when it was out on television. It's not terrible. It's not my favorite comedy series, but it's not bad by any means. So yeah, I've been watching that, and I still got to get back to The Mandalorian. I just haven't had brain space to watch it, because I want to watch it at night, but then I want to knit, and I like watching it with subtitles. Is that weird? I like doing that, and I can't. Some of the projects I'm working on, I just can't knit and watch TV at the same time. All right, I'm gonna drink some more coffee, and then I'm gonna get to work. Yay! It's not Monday morning, it's Wednesday. I should be excited. Halfway through the week. Well, not quite halfway. It's the beginning of the midweek day. Hope everybody's well. All right, see you in the next clip. Okay, real talk. Ready, y'all? Real talk. So today is Thursday. I had coned up an order for the Etsy shop yesterday. I'm doing the cuff, leg, short row heel, and then cranking the rest of the yarn. And I'm human. I am human. We're all human. We make mistakes. Now, the yarn isn't damaged or anything of that nature, but the order is not exactly what I said it would be in my listing. So I've already contacted the seller. We have already worked some things out, but this is real life, and I knew eventually I was going to somehow make a mistake, because we're human. And I felt terrible. I couldn't sleep last night after I did this. I was having anxiety, and I just felt terrible, like that I knew I was going to have to contact my customer in the morning and have a real talk. So needless to say, I'll just show you what happened. And so in that order, I say I'm going to split the single 100 grams in half. Well, you know, not all skeins are exactly 100 grams. So I split it in half, and I'll crank 2 exact cuffs, legs, heels, and then the rest of the yarn will just cranked just into a tube with waste yarn at the end, and you will have to then rip back or insert your needles and cut the yarn and put your toe in. I mathed wrong. I mathed completely wrong, and I had so it gets wound onto cones, and the cones are 24 grams. I did not subtract the 24 grams from my total, and then I cranked. Yeah. Oh my God. I still can't believe I did this. But I'm going to show you because we're human and we all make errors. I've said that like 18 times. Not quite 18. But we all make errors. So there's plenty of yarn though for her to complete the foot on this because it's like 13 inches. And unless she's making socks for somebody that has really giant feet, like the only thing is when she does put her toes on, she's going to have 2 balls that aren't exactly the same amount left. And, you know, not that that's like a big deal, but it still isn't exactly what my order, my listing was. And it just made me feel terrible. So, you ready for this craziness? Okay. So here's what I mean. Cuff, leg, heel, foot, and you crank the foot until you have no more yarn left. And this one should have had more attached to it. It would have had like, you know, that much more attached to it based on my miscalculations of my grams. And I really wholeheartedly apologize. And I apologize to my customer. But I just think, you know, real life. That's what this is. So I'm on my lunch break, and Hayes, my daughter, we got this when we were camping, and I've never done a repair like this. So she got this really super cute bear. He's pretty big. I mean, that's my hand. Well, he, whatever, Barry is what we have been calling it, is Barry. Barry was on the playground. Barry was everywhere. Barry was coloring. Barry was eating breakfast. Barry everything. Barry has a boo-boo. I have never really done anything like this. Barry is losing some stuffing. So Barry is also a keychain, and he was on her backpack for a while. He was hanging on the swing because, you know, the swings have chains, and he was swinging away. And I think what happened was he was attached and Hazel was holding at the same time. Hayes was getting some air on those swings, and I'm pretty sure she kind of pulled a little hard. I gotta like do some, he's like made out of this super fuzzy something, and I think I'll just be able to hide whatever's going on. Like Barry's losing some fuzz. So this is what I'll be doing at lunch today, is trying to repair Barry. Wish me luck, y'all, because it's too cute. It's so cute. Like, look at this skirt, and it has like little leggies and everything. Oh, and Barry lost a bead. I don't know where Hazel put the bead. I gotta hot glue that on eventually too, but we have to find it because I'm not quite sure where she put it. It's one of like these little beads. This is my life. I got some really cool yarn in the mail today to crank, and I'm waiting to see if the customer is okay with me showing it. I don't ever mention names, but I do like to ask, only because it's not my yarn. So, and like some time-lapse videos of these would be cool because they're stripy. Hey buddy, it is Friday, April 9th. Yep. So, last night I was cranking part of that order that I screwed up the percentages. And I decided to film it. It is very raw footage. It is not a tutorial, but I did put it up on YouTube for people to view if anyone is curious. I know a few people, I believe, that are actually going to be getting some circular sock machines, and they've told me it would be nice, you know, they've asked me for resources and whatnot, and I had posted just the cranking video of just cranking tubes, and people were like, oh, we'd like to see more. And I'm like, I am not a professional. Not a professional tutorial video maker. Just saying. But if you're interested, it is out there on my channel. So, you know, 40 minutes of me cranking one of my orders. Yeah, say a lot. Let me show you that order. Well, a portion of that order. I didn't mess this one up, y'all, okay? I have redeemed myself. I feel much better. felt really terrible. I don't know if you could tell in the video, I did want to cry. I was very upset. So this yarn is Stranded Dye Works, which is Amy Florence, and she is in Europe. She is in Scotland now. Is that where she lives? Oh. This is a sparkle base. I don't know the actual base, but it is the Kingfisher colorway. The client, my customer, was able to tell me that. So here you go. You have 20 rows is approximately 2 inches of a 1x1. You have your leg, you have your short row heels, and then look, equal foot lengths. I didn't mess it up. There's a screenshot for you. All right, so I feel much better. I've redeemed myself. I just felt really, really bad. And I think I said, like, we're all human about 15 times, so apologies for that too. I have something else finished. Let me show you. I gotta take these off these sock blockers, and I have to load up my sock blockers, so give me a minute. I won't sing or anything. That would be really terrible. How's everybody's day? Oh, I'll tell you about something that's happening for me. I had signed up on our state's website for the COVID pre-registration, because I'm in the last tier of people who can get it. I signed up there, and I had also previously gotten an email. So we use an app called MyChart, and I guess it's certain hospitals and doctor practices that use it. Well, they had sent me a message saying, we will let you know when vaccines are available. And I was like, okay, great. It's going to probably still be forever. I got an email saying vaccines were available, like within a week. And I was like, sweet. So I went on and I was able to get I got an appointment for Saturday. I'm nervous. I'm not gonna lie. I'm nervous. I mean, I don't get my flu shot because I used to always get really sick afterwards. So I guess more or less I'm kind of nervous because of that. We'll find out. We'll find out. So I have that. Yeah. I don't know. I mean, I see everybody posting like the pictures of their cards and all that. I just don't know. I don't know. I'm probably not gonna do that. I don't know. Ooh, so this was the tube. Oh boy, John got much longer socks than me. This was the tube that I cranked out of the plain yarn, and then we like not tie-dyed it, but we dyed it. John dyed it. I didn't dye it. John dyed it. And I cut it up and made socks for both of us. He got much longer legs. I didn't do it equal because I knew if I did it, his feet are bigger than mine. So, but he definitely got the bigger sock. So I used Knit Pick Stroll to cut in to do my heels, cuffs, and toes because I wanted to maximize the amount of the tube. Oh boy. Wow, that leg looks a lot longer than the other one. Oh, it is. I did not do that quite evenly for my socks. That's okay, they're mine. They're not his. I'm not gonna complain. There's 4 socks. 1, 2, 3, 4. Boop, doo. Wow, that lime, or it's a pickle, it was called pickle juice. That is really blowing out the camera. So I'll hold up mine and I'll show you the fronts and the backs, and then I'll show you John's. Wow, they are so cool looking. And then there's the other side, so you get all the colors. And then John's are really tall. He's probably gonna love these. There's John's. You can kind of see where it was folded maybe in the pan, where that line of color runs down the edge. Those are so cool. This might be something we end up offering one of a kind. We would not try to repeat them. I know that company Full Moon Fibers does repeatable colorways. I doubt we would probably do that. But if you're interested in something like this, would you let me know? Let me know. Comment. And maybe that'll be something we put up in the shop. I'll crank tubes and he'll dye them. They're awfully dark. I almost wished they weren't as dark. I mean, they're still really beautiful. I just think they would be also really beautiful if they were lighter colors. So, here, maybe I'll do, oh, I could do two. I could do another screenshot. What? Sorry, I'm ridiculous. That's crazy. All right, yay, they're done. That is exciting. I was not dreading it, but I was a little like bleh about it because I couldn't do it at night because I couldn't see that. I couldn't see it to pick up the stitches. It was too dark. There you go. All right, everybody. It is Saturday, the 11th. The 10th?
Be quiet.
Oh, yeah, I did tell him to be quiet. I don't know what today is. Let's wrap this up. Oh, we have a cat. We have a floof. A floof, 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 floof. A three-legged floof.
That's quality entertainment right there.
It is. Okay, so I have two things to show, and then we're good. What are you doing? What are you doing? Really? He's tired. He's like, I'm gonna take a nap. Okay, right there. All right. Two things to show. I ordered this shirt, and I was really upset because I tried finding like an Etsy seller, or I tried finding like a private shop that had shirts that had something to do with cranking and my sock machine, and I couldn't find any. Erlbacher, I think, sometimes has shirts on like for sale, but it's not all the time. So I found this shirt, and I was very surprised I actually found it on Amazon. I know, the devil. That's what people think, right? Amazon is the devil. So I got this. Ready? When in doubt, crank.
Should have said crank it out.
Crank it out. Yeah, that would have been cool too. Maybe we need to make shirts. No. There's not enough market, I think, for it. So it would just be like me making a shirt just for myself. But okay. Progress on one thing to show you, and that is that cow I was making out of the yarn from Andrea, the cat lady, and it was her Conversation Hearts mini set, and I'm on the last color, and then I get to do ribbing, and then it's done. I didn't use very much yarn at all. Look at this. That's how much I have of each color. I knew I wasn't going to use a lot. I mean, it's a cow. It's very, very tiny. Okay. Ready? Here is where wait, where was I? I took this with me today to get my shot because I knew I'd have to wait 30 minutes and I knew I could get like 3 rounds done. Okay, I was here and I've now got pink in there. Everybody keeps thinking it's a hat. I hope it does block out some because it's kind of small. I just love the alternating color, background color too. It looks so good. All right. That's all I have to show you on the knitting front. Oh, I could show you the inside, but maybe I'll just wait to show you the inside when it's done because people like seeing all the floats. Thought about maybe writing this up as a free pattern, and I know I talked a few episodes back. I was doing something that was color work, and I was talking about catching your floats and making sure you don't catch your floats in the same spot because of vertical, they called it vertical something. And you get like the line. So if you do this, if you catch your float in the same spot, like on this row, the row where it's the widest in the heart, it's 2 rows wide. You don't want to catch your float in that purple in the same spot because you'll get like vertical laddering or something it's called. So I thought if I wrote up this pattern, I would make it really super easy for people who've never done color work to be able to know where to catch your floats. Because I put little tick marks where I catch my float. So you can see I'm catching my float on the second row at the last stitch, and the next row I catch it on the stitch after it or before it, because you don't want them stacked on top of one another. Same thing here, I'm catching my float here, and then I'm alternating, and then I'm bringing it back. That way you're not catching your float, and you'll see that background color coming through in like a vertical line. I had showed an example of that in one of my episodes. If I can find the episode, I'll put the iCard up, but yeah, so I thought about writing it up and in the actual chart putting my little tick mark indicating where you would catch the float. Does that be something anybody might be interested in? I guess let me know. All right, other than that, I watched that Netflix series about the art heist in Massachusetts, and it was I didn't want to Google anything, and then they never found the artwork. Spoiler alert. Which is really sad. They think like the Boston mob or mafia has it. Which I never knew that in the 80s, 90s, when art stealing was a huge thing, that mafia and mob people would trade stolen artwork to get their people out of jail. Did you know that? Did you ever hear that? Right. Yeah, I never knew that was like a thing. And that's it. That's really all I got for you. I'm watching my cat struggle to try to get on a chair. Luna! Oh, she did it. Okay. Riveting. That's it. John is taking a nap, I guess, and hopefully he has some Johnny Bo Dies this weekend. We'll find out. Stay tuned. All right, until the next episode, y'all, I hope everybody is well. Take care of yourselves. Call the people you love, and I'll see you next time.